You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 184. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Spencer Valadez.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus many other cool podcasts like The All-New Anti-Fanboy, Super Podcasto Magnifico, and Ultimate Facepalm at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you enjoy this program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Do it.
Yeah. So, Spencer, we're going to talk some more about Silver Age Green Lantern today.
Yeah.
Yes, we're almost done with Showcase Presents Green Lantern Volume 2.
Yeah, I think we have 6...
including today's 6 issues. So it'll be today's session and one other episode, and then we'll start on Volume 3.
Yeah. Which I still need to pick up.
Well, it's out there in the ether.
Yeah.
Don't wait too long.
Probably on the interwebs.
Yes. So... But let's get going here.
Yeah.
The first issue we're going to talk about today is Green Lantern number 33. It's the December of 1964 issue. And the lead story is called Wizard of the Light Wave Weapons. Written by Gardner Fox. With pencils by Gil Kane and inked by Sid Green.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I really like Sid Green as an inker. I like him here on Gil Kane. I like his work, inking... Mike Sekowsky on Justice League of America, which I'm sure we will see down the pike when we do those books. But yeah, this lead story, it's, Hal Jordan faces off against Dr. Edward Light? Yeah, Dr. Light.
Yeah. He's back. Dr. Light's back.
Yes, and he had previously fought the Justice League of America as a team, and then he's like, well, why don't I try and beat them all individually?
Yeah, I think that's kind of his goal now, is to take them down a peg.
Yeah. So I mean, it's mentioned that he recently fought the Atom, and now he's going after Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
both books drawn by Gil Kane and edited by Julia Schwartz.
Oh,
that's a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we have Hal, and he's kind of doing his usual thing, reviewing stuff with Pie Face, talking about different stuff.
Well, Hal has been being awarded Man of the Year by some organization.
Yeah,
and he's got some Green Lantern stuff he's got to do, so he's going to make Pie Face look like him and have him collect the award in his place. As if Pie Face doesn't have a wife,
right? Yeah,
or anything. He's just there to just take care of crap for Hal.
Yeah.
So.
Sidekick, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So these crazy lights and electrical shock stuff are happening around town, around Ferris Air, around the whole city.
Indeed.
And so, of course, Green Lantern has to go check it out. And darkness kind of befalls the city.
Darkness is?
Yeah. And so he, with his power ring, makes this giant light bulb. And clicks it on so he can see through the darkness.
Which he could just create luminescence in the air,
right?
But let's make a light bulb, okay?
And with the light of the giant light bulb is revealed a Dr. Light.
Yeah.
And they start fighting immediately.
Yeah.
The Dr. Light makes a claim of, hey, I've fought your Justice League. I fought the Atom, and now I'm here to fight you.
But it's he didn't even beat the Atom.
Right.
He loses, and then he's going to go and try and fight somebody else next time.
I
think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. It reminds me of something that Jeff and I were talking about recently.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that Mysterio could be a repeat Spider-Man villain and keep fooling him with illusions?
Yeah.
Once you know it's Mysterio, you should know that whatever he's doing is...
Right.
crap,
yeah.
So, he shouldn't... No, it shouldn't... What he does shouldn't be able to work on anybody more than once. And so Jeff and I were talking Mysterio should, leave town and try it on, other people.
Yeah. Or go across town and do it on Daredevil. You know, head down to Hell's Kitchen.
Well, that wouldn't work on Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, he's blind.
You can't use illusions on Daredevil. I read this... The last time Jeff and I cycled through some Daredevil issues... And we've got another month of Daredevil books coming up soonish. There was an issue where Daredevil fought the Chameleon, and the Chameleon's he disguised himself. He just recognized who he was from his heartbeat and beat him up. It was great.
Awesome.
Chameleon master of disguise. Can't fool Daredevil.
No.
Loved it. So
also, quick plug: if you're not watching Daredevil on Netflix,
you should die because it's the best show on television.
Yeah,
or not on television.
Not on television. Yeah,
but yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, we got to talk about this.
Back to Green Lantern. So they start fighting, and Green Lantern starts getting kind of the crap beat out of him a little bit. Dr. Light starts using the power of light to
his power set to me is really ill-defined.
Yeah.
And he's got also gadgets, but it seems like he has internal powers as well.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he has this light gun, and he keeps firing at Green Lantern, and at one point it absorbs all of his the blast from his power ring, and then at one point he holds him upside down by his ankles.
Yeah.
With the light, and at one point he actually gets a good shot on Green Lantern and knocks him off a building. And
then as Hal plummets to his sort of death, but no, he doesn't die. Right. He just opens up a hole in the earth.
Yeah, he's unconscious, and the power ring just.
Oh, that's right, because there's automatic defense stuff about it, which it's you already have the most powerful weapon in the world. It'll protect you even when you're not conscious.
Right. Come on. That's weird for me though, because if you're unconscious, how can your willpower?
Well, I think the ring has things that are programmed into it.
Gotcha.
So the wielder of the ring is protected.
Right. So it automatically translates. It automatically. Yeah. Okay.
So
records.
Well, I've heard him ask it to translate things.
Yeah.
I don't know how automatic. Maybe you can. There's settings you can switch, on your phone, automatic. Use my phone data. Slide that bar over. Yeah. Don't use my phone data. So,
You think he has mobile data on his phone?
He might.
Probably get really expensive overage charges, things like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he hops.
No,
back
he doesn't.
Out of the
See,
hole.
that's why he has to charge it every day.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's on his way to the benefit as Hal Jordan,
right,
with Pieface, and he gets a signal from his ring that the ring has found Dr. Light's location, and he's like, "All right, Pieface, you gotta go accept it for me." And Pieface is like, "I'll do it, Hal. No probs."
Meanwhile, his marriage is in a shambles.
Right.
Because he's never around.
Coming home to snuggle up, and
he never gives Turga any attention. So, anyway.
And so Pieface is transformed by the power ring into Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan takes off with such delight on his face.
That's actually a really weird expression on his face. I don't know what that's meant to convey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I really like Gil Kane and the way he conveys facial expressions most of the time.
Right.
But sometimes it's just what is the emotion that is supposed to be?
Yeah, there's another one later on that we'll see that's a little weird.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, so he catches up with Dr. Light, and Dr. Light creates these warrior kind of guys.
Out of light, and they're all different colors of the light spectrum.
Right. And so he's like, well, I thought yellow would work, but last time it didn't, so...
Because when he fought because reasons.
Yeah.
When he fought the Justice League, for some reason, he found a way around it.
Yeah.
And so all these guys, including one who is yellow, but the rest of them are different colors.
Mm-hmm. So Hal puts up this glass kind of wall in front of them.
Yeah.
And all of them come and they hit the wall, except the yellow one. The yellow one starts making it through.
Yeah.
But as soon as it kind of makes its way through, it kind of dissipates.
Yeah.
And we don't really have an explanation why yet. And then, so, his plan being foiled, Dr. Light hits Green Lantern with giant cymbals.
Yeah, like the percussive instrument cymbals.
And that'd be, effective. It'd be really loud.
There's a giant harp for some reason.
He gets thrown into a harp, and he's shaking.
And a giant xylophone.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Okay.
I'll just blame it on Gardner Fox being weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I love, but
right. And as Green Lantern lands on the xylophone, the power crystal in his ring pops out, and Dr. Light catches it, and he's, haha, I've got you now, you're powerless. And as soon as he catches it, this orb of green light engulfs him.
Yeah,
and
Dr. Light.
Yeah, Dr. Light, he's trapped in the this power sphere thing. And we're reminded that as long as Hal is within a certain distance, he can still control the ring.
Right, we'd established that a while back. Yeah.
And so he tells, he's captured, and he's figured something out with Dr. Light. He's going to be able to hold him. And so he goes and he gets his award from Pieface, who he transforms back into himself.
Yeah.
And he explains that when the Yellow Warrior made it through his barrier,
You were carrying it with the Doppler effect,
right?
Which is a phenomena I don't quite understand,
Right?
but we'll say it works.
Yeah.
But then couldn't he just do that every time there's something yellow?
Exactly. It seemed to fall apart a little bit, but you know what? It's Green Lantern. He had to save the thing somehow. Yeah. So.
Do you remember that Green Lantern one shot that John Byrne did? And I can't remember who. It's a science fiction writer wrote it. Ganthet's Tale.
Yeah.
There was a similar thing where he just moved at a different angle and speed and managed to change yellow light to a different color, and that's how he overcame it.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
And
so the farther he moved away from the warrior, and he was vibrating the waves around it, it turned it into a different color.
Which I get,
yeah,
sort of. How prisms work,
right?
And light refracting through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have something to do with it.
Okay,
but I'm not sure.
You're not scientists, so
I mean, I like science.
Yeah, it's great.
But I wasn't a science major in college.
If you are a science major and you want to explain,
or if you're a scientist, explain the Doppler effect.
Yeah,
I want to know all about it. So anyway, Dr. Light beat up again.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the backup story. It's called The Disarming of Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. This was also written by Gardner Fox, with pencils by Gil Kane and inked by Sid Green.
Yeah.
All the stories we're going to talk about on this episode today are. But I'm going to repeat them anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
So
this backup story really involves Pieface, more so than usual.
And that's okay.
Yeah. He's been kidnapped by these mobsters.
And the lead mobster looks exactly like Edward G. Robinson.
I'll have to look him up.
If you ever look him up on your phone right now.
Okay.
Okay? Because if you've ever seen the movie Little Caesar, this is that's the classic gangster movie.
Okay.
And where it's the beginning of Edward G. Robinson's career as being this mobster guy.
Okay.
He's known for that. In a lot of cartoons, we would see that guy, Edward G. Robinson. But anyway, so the guy totally looks like Edward G. Robinson as Rico in Little Caesar. Is your Google image loading?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yes, we're having dead air.
Yeah, dead air. So these mobsters
Give me your phone. Keep talking.
Have kidnapped Pieface, and they did so because Pieface was in he was in a sleep study or something. He was in a minor accident. That's right. And he was in the hospital, and he needed to be there for a couple days. And next to him in his bed, in the other bed, was this mobster. And in Pieface's sleep, he mentions, "Oh, absolutely, he does look like
Edward G. Robinson."
Edward G. Robinson.
You were pulling out all these images from when he was old and so in the green, and I'm like, no, young Edward G. Robinson. Yeah, but that's totally the mobster. Totally. I've just pulled up the Google image from it, or Bing or whatever bull crap you've got on your phone.
Absolutely not Bing. It is Google.
Okay.
Sorry. And so in Pieface's sleep, he is talking to Green Lantern.
Right.
Thankfully, he doesn't let slip his secret identity.
Yeah.
But he talks about the power battery in the
Right.
lantern.
And so the mob boss, who I'm going to call Rico now because that's character in Little Caesar, the criminal, whatever. He's going around looking for all these lanterns.
Yeah, he has all his
Why?
goons like searching for lanterns so they could steal Green Lantern's lantern, and so he wouldn't be able to charge his ring.
Okay.
Because that was mentioned in Pieface's sleep.
Right.
You have just a couple more minutes before your ring stops working. So,
right, because if they can steal the ring, he can't charge it up, and then they'll have Green Lantern out of the way. They can commit crimes.
Right, they can beat him up and take him down.
In the meantime, they're exerting a lot of energy just to getting all these other lanterns.
Right, yeah.
When they could just be committing crimes in different places.
Right.
He can't commit crime, or Green Lantern can't solve all these crimes at once. You know?
Right. So Hal comes and picks up Pieface.
Yeah.
In a Mercedes, by the way.
Yeah.
A nice Mercedes. As if not Mercedes. Anyways.
Yeah.
And Pieface fesses that he's like the mob guy's like, I heard what you were saying in your sleep, and we're gonna fix that, or we're gonna get Green Lantern. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know any of his secrets. And so Pieface immediately fesses up to Hal, like, look, I was asleep. I didn't know what I was doing. I can't be held responsible for this, man. You told me your secret identity. And so Hal decides he's going to make Pieface, his watch, into a miniature television camera. Or something
weird.
like that.
That's weird.
I don't know why he does that.
He turns his watch into a television camera?
Yeah,
I didn't catch that at all.
Change your wristwatch into a miniature television viewer so I can see and hear what happens to you if you get spirited away. Yeah, as a precaution, he gets...
I forgot that detail. Okay.
So Hal goes in...
You should get Superman to make signal watches for him, you know?
Yeah.
Like he gave Jimmy Olsen.
Absolutely.
I was asking Jeff, like, how come Lois doesn't have a signal? Lois and Lana don't have signal watches.
Yeah.
And he explained to me, first of all, because you know they would use it all the time for dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But also, giving a watch is like, to a girl, it's kind of like giving her jewelry. So it's kind of like saying you're an item. And he's always been really kind of, Superman has always been kind of standoffish or non-committal about a lot of that with those two. So that's why. But Jimmy gets a watch.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So Hal goes and powers up his power battery, or his lantern. The crooks find it, and they wait for him to come in and power up his ring, and then they steal it.
Yeah.
They... I don't know if
steal the battery or the ring?
They don't actually steal... They steal the battery.
Okay.
And so he follows the crook's footsteps, and...
Green Lantern does?
Yeah. Okay. They're using these giant walkie-talkies.
Yeah, it look like ghetto blasters.
Yeah. But now that they've stolen that power battery, they know that his ring is almost out of juice. And so, like, 5 guys jump him.
Yeah.
And he has to fight them off with his, like, bare fists.
Yeah.
And at one point, he fights them off enough that he has to run away.
Yeah.
But he has just enough power in his ring to fly, and he goes
just enough. Yeah.
He goes on a pretty major crime-stopping spree. He takes out some guys at a bank with this, like, pushing his thumb down, like a giant thumb down on a fountain.
And
like
spraying them with water?
Yeah, like, takes them out that way.
He could have just knocked them all over with that big hand. Dude.
Right, yeah.
But anyway.
He uses
a
giant magnet with wings to pull guns away.
Yeah.
Puts them into a power ring.
Created paddy wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does like a whirlwind thing to pick up some guys at a charity event stealing money.
And then he puts all the bad guys in a Ferris wheel.
And takes the Ferris wheel off its, like, hinges. And
so they're all defeated, and then Hal shows up to rescue Pieface from Edward G. Robinson.
Yeah, and he takes the gun.
Yeah.
Green Lantern does.
And then Pie punches him in the face.
Yeah, he's like, I got
sucks him in the jaw and knocks the cigar out of his mouth.
Yeah,
that's always a cool panel when the cigar comes out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so it turns out that they never actually stole the power battery. They stole something that looked like the power
Right,
battery.
because how... And it's weird because I always thought he kept it at Ferris Air
Right.
or something, but he's saying that he kept it in a lamp shop but made it invisible.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe he moved it there for safety reasons.
Right. I mean, we didn't... questions.
Yeah.
Questions. Okay. Well, let's talk about the next issue, and this is a real humdinger.
Yeah, it is.
It's Green Lantern number 34. It's the January of 1965 issue, and the full-length story, a full-length novel, is called Three-Way Attack Against Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Excuse me, written by Gardner Fox, with pencils by Gil Kane and inks by Sid Green.
So something I wanted to do with this issue is go through it a little quick, just because I think this is an issue listeners and people all around should just go and read. It's a good enough. It's standalone enough where you don't really need a lot of background. We can give that to you here.
You're really going to tell them to go pick up a single Silver Age back issue?
No. I'm saying
because
find this issue and read it.
In this volume of Showcase Presents.
Right.
Because, or if you want to fork over the big bucks, they're probably in the DC, what are the hardcovers called? The archives?
Yeah, the archives.
Yeah. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
I don't own any of those. The only ones of those I have are the Thunder Agents archives. I have the full run of that. But
I have a couple.
Yeah.
All-Star.
Yeah, you got some Justice Society stuff.
Justice Society, yeah.
Anyway,
back to this. So this is the return of Hector Hammond.
Man, this is rad.
Yeah. And so he's kind of locked in his physical form, but he, with his mental powers, he's able to start spying.
Look at this crazy chair that he's got. It's so 1960s.
Yeah.
I love it. I imagine this to be in Don Draper's house in Mad Men.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is in prison.
Yeah.
This is his prison chair.
Yeah. So he's vowed to destroy Green Lantern.
Yeah, but he can't move. But he has brains.
Yes, and he has extreme brain power.
Yeah.
And so he reaches out with his mind and finds Green Lantern and follows him back to the planet Oa, where he does a report
to the Guardians.
To the Guardians.
And no one on Earth knows the existence of the Guardians other than Hal and Pieface.
Right. And now
Hector Hammond knows about it. So he's hatching a plan.
Yeah. And so he leaves behind Green Lantern and comes back to his earthly form.
Yeah.
And we get a kind of a flashback of who he is, why he is, and what's going on.
Yeah, in case this is the first issue of Green Lantern you've read, and you don't know what's up with Hector Hammond.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So back in Ferris Air, Green Lantern is powering up his power ring, and is heading out for a date with Carol.
Yeah.
And as on his way, he sees a billboard that says, "Visit the Coast City Carnival. See the blue-skinned spaceman."
And plastered on the billboard is a picture of one of the Guardians.
Yeah, which throws
Hal for a loop.
Yeah, and he takes off instead of going to the date with Carol to the carnival.
Right.
And as he steps inside the tent of the blue-skinned spaceman, his power battery is hanging there, and there is a Guardian standing there, and it is revealed that this is a renegade Guardian.
And he's killed all the other Guardians.
Yeah.
So Hal's and he's here to destroy Hal.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what am I going to do? How can I beat a Guardian?
Right. So we were talking about faces. This is an excellent face of Hal Jordan.
His bewilderment.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say fear, but whoa, what? It's bewilderment, exasperation, holy, surprise.
Yeah.
This is really good. There's a lot of emotion in this face.
Yeah. So he's still Hal Jordan at this point.
Yeah.
And the Guardian transports him to the Amazon. In South America. The rainforest in South America.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I didn't think it was the rainforest in South Dakota.
Right. He's like, I know who you are, and transforms Hal Jordan into Green Lantern.
Right.
You think you can defeat me? It's impossible. And we then move into the giant fight between this Guardian and Green Lantern. The Guardian uses his powers to manipulate the forest around him.
Like he wraps Hal up in vines.
Yeah, and Hal has to fight it off with like shears and buzz saws and like a few axes and saws.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets free, he gets knocked again by the Guardian with these, like, they call them grapes, but they're giant, like, fungus things that, like, the Guardian has grown to massive size.
Yeah.
He's just bombarded with them. And Hal has to, like, he's about to be crushed by him and takes off into the sky. And the Guardian's like, "Ha! You think you're good now, but wait for this!" And he transports him to a icy or cold, icy ground in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Where he is. The Guardian starts to freeze him in ice, and Hal is battered again. He has enough sense to use his powering to hit it with like a fire thing.
Yeah, fire extinguisher.
Yeah, flamethrower.
Oh, flamethrower. That makes more sense. It's ice.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? You said that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh. Come home. You messed me up.
Right. And like Hal uses the flamethrower and like giant ice picks and starts picking away at the ice.
Yeah.
And he finally escapes, and he is being battered by the Guardian.
And of course, it's all a ruse by Hector Hammond.
Right.
But Hector Hammond is very amused. He's watching the whole thing unfold, and he is pleased.
And Green Lantern has no idea.
No idea.
And we have, like, this was my favorite panel from all of our reading today.
Really?
Hal with these crazy, like, wings, like eagle wings or something coming out the back of him. I just thought they were really cool looking. I thought it was a great looking panel.
Yeah. And it's, some of these things seem kind of odd because, like, the ring makes you fly already.
Right.
You don't need to make wings. So it's just kind of you're thinking, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is cool looking.
And from the icy Arctic, he is transported again to a desert region. And he's bombarded with a sandstorm. Yeah. And he puts up this kind of like power ring house kind of thing. Yeah. And he finally is able to like hold off the sandstorm. But as soon as he's able to hold off that sandstorm, he's immediately attacked by
like a giant lizard.
Yeah, an iguana, a giant iguana.
Yeah. Now, this has one of those signature Gil Kane looks. Okay. Because all lizards, dragons, a lot of his monsters, they always have these kind of like circlic, brows and lips. I don't really know a better way to describe it, but it is such a signature Gil Kane move. It is. These are to Gil Kane what Kirby Dots or Kirby Crackle are to Kirby. Right. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So it's a giant iguana that shoots these like hoops of sizzling energy at him
from his tail.
From its tail, yeah.
Yeah.
And Hal is kind of trapped in some of the hoops, and in it like kind of almost a last ditch effort, almost. Yeah. He's
second to last
ditch effort.
Penultimate ditch effort. Did I ever tell you I used to think penultimate meant like most ultimate? Right. Yeah. Like how lame. But yeah.
And he sends it back at the iguana, and it kind of destroys it or just poofs it.
And then it gets weird.
Yeah. Then it gets weird.
Yeah.
So Hal is on the ground, and he is about to fire his power ring at the Guardian. Yeah. And out of nowhere, the Guardian launches Hal's fist into the sky.
And just stretches his arm like way up into space. It's still detached.
And he's moving
it's
it
just
so
like
fast.
Elongated.
Yeah. He's moving it so fast that he's not able to hit the Guardian with his power blast.
Right.
And so it's up in outer space now. And the Guardian has one last uh, like weapon against him, and he creates this orb of radiant energy, and it's headed towards Green Lantern. And these 4 panels of the orb getting closer and closer to Green Lantern,
And the look of desperation or of
Yeah.
impending doom on Hal's face is excellent.
yeah, and in the last moment of before the orb hits him, he uses his power ring to transform his arm into like a rubbery kind of elastic thing, and it springs him back into the outer space, and the orb follows him.
Right. But Hal escapes it by vibrating or going to Earth 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
Um,
We don't get to see any cool folks from Earth 2.
and
but
he's able to
there.
use Hector Hammond somehow as a shield.
Yeah.
This is where I get mixed up and
I think
confused.
he started to use the Guardian as a weapon against whoever.
But then
whatever
he
he's
said,
going on.
wait, how can I stop this? Who is immortal or whatever?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hector Hammond.
Yeah.
And so, not knowing that Hector Hammond was the cause of all this, he somehow used Hector Hammond against himself.
Right. Yeah. Irony of ironies.
This is where I got confused.
Yeah.
They lost me here.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So
how?
Hal goes to Oa.
Yeah.
Comes back from Earth 2 and goes to Oa to report to the Guardians, and they're there. Because he thought he was going to have to go there and summon the rest of the Lanterns. Like, we got a big problem.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we're not dead.
None of us has gone renegade.
Yeah.
That's not true at all.
And so the Guardians say, "Look, we'll look into it. Go ahead and head back to Earth." And that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah. And then Hal and Carol go to the carnival.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so one more issue that we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really cool issue, but then I just got, like, I didn't understand it
the
in that last
kind of
bit.
fell apart
Like,
a little bit.
and, you know, DC always, quite often have a weird, contrived ending.
Right. Yeah.
But usually they kind of have their own internal logic that they follow.
Yeah.
Even if it's a stretch that you can, oh, that's why it was, you know. But that, I was so discombobulated.
Yeah.
But anyway, this next issue we're going to talk about, it's Green Lantern number 35. It's the March of 1965 issue. And the lead story is called Prisoner of the Golden Mask.
Yeah.
The cover art on this, it's kind of a what do you call that when it's a 3-panel?
I'm not sure.
Dang it, there's a word I'm looking for, and it's just not a triad. It's triptych. It's a triptych. And anyway, yes, the image of Hal in the bottom of the center of the triptych. You'll see that in lots of memes on the internet because it is a weird face that he's making.
It is a very weird face.
But it gets used on memes a lot. I don't know, but anyway, Prisoner of the Golden Mask, written by Gardner Fox, penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Sid Green.
Yeah. So Hal Jordan doing his thing as a test pilot for Ferris Air.
Yeah.
Heads up in a kind of a rocket plane.
It's a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing plane.
Right. And out of nowhere, there's just this guy in the sky.
Yeah.
And he ends up causing the plane to crash.
Right.
Hal Jordan, in the plane at the time, has to just eject himself from the plane as Hal Jordan. He can't reveal his secret identity
because people are watching.
Yeah.
He can't turn into Green Lantern.
The villain is still up in the sky, and he will figure out the secret identity of Hal Jordan.
Right. So that's an interesting position to be in.
Yeah. And so he parachutes down and lands and gets a sweet little canoodling from Carol Ferris.
Right.
Which he's like silver lining.
He's not canoodling. They're not making out.
Just a little.
That's not to the end of the issue.
Right.
Spoilers. But she's concerned.
Right. And so he explains while he's in the hospital, he explains Carol, there was an aerialist up in the sky. No, I'm not delirious. And he warned he was going to have revenge on the Ferris family because of some girl named Elka Henson.
Yeah.
And so we have this flashback
Yeah.
of a story that Carol's telling.
Now,
Elka Henson.
She was the greatest aerialist, like a trapeze artist,
Right.
in the world. That's what DC Comics and trapeze artists.
Right.
Flying Graysons, Dead Man.
Yeah, Dead Man.
And then Jason Todd's parents were trapeze artists too.
Were they really?
More than one Robin with trapeze parents. Weird.
Seems convenient.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think that was the pre-crisis Jason Todd.
Okay.
Anyway, I think the post-crisis they changed it.
Okay.
But anyway,
Seems
she
like,
was the great. Go ahead.
Bruce Wayne is going to way too many circuses.
Seriously, and his arch enemy's a clown. He's looking
Yeah.
for the Joker. Yeah, she was beautiful, and she was the aerialist, and the clown. Oh, so the Ferrises had this circus perform for them for a
Right.
private thing.
Yeah.
And a bolt of lightning struck this girl
Okay.
and Elka and killed her. Now the clown in the circus had this unrequited love for her,
Right.
and he dreamed of being with her, but she was dead, and so he swears he's going to make the Ferrises pay.
Yeah. And so Hal charges up his power ring. Oh, he's able to leave the hospital, and he goes and immediately changes into Green Lantern, and charges up his power ring with the classic oath, and they launch the rocket plane again.
The VTOL, the vertical takeoff and landing. Yeah.
Launch it again, but this time Green Lantern is outside of the plane, ready for the Aerialist.
Here's the thing. Aerialist seems to have... What are his powers, exactly? Flying around and doing magnetic things?
Yeah, he kind of gets to it. He has created these devices where he's able to slide along the lines of the Earth's natural magnetism.
Oh, they're on ley lines.
Yeah.
I think that's what those are called.
I think he's able to slide on them like he's surfing or something.
Oh, okay.
And so he's not
so it's
really
not like
flying.
magnetic, not like Dr. Polaris. It's a different thing he's doing.
Right.
Because I was confused as to how he was able to do this stuff.
Right.
He has a cool costume.
Yeah.
But there's something missing from this guy to make him let's keep him in the Rogues Gallery. Let's bring him back.
Yeah, and he this is his only appearance in Green Lantern.
I think because you looked that up.
Yeah. He's we'll get to where he goes, but he doesn't show up ever again.
Right.
And so the Aerialist again has another gun. He seems a lot like Dr. Light, but with magnetism.
I think they're borrowing. There's things that smack of Dr. Light, Dr. Polaris, or even Sonar. But those characters are all interesting to a point. They've got reasons why you want to root for your hero against them, or something that they got a backstory you care about.
Yeah.
It's because so generic. Oh, girl that I liked, but I want revenge for her.
Yeah.
But he's delusional.
Yeah.
So.
And so the Aerialist shoots electromagnetic convection currents at Green Lantern.
And Green Lantern dissipates this by creating household appliances in the sky.
That just absorb it all.
Okay.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, Green Lantern is surrounded by a massive magnetic field.
Right.
Which, again, another one of the cooler panels in this
issue.
These
Story.
couple issues.
Yeah.
And
that is really cool.
Issue,
yeah.
And so the Aerialist, I keep wanting to call him Dr. Light.
He is not Dr. Light. Is it the fin on the...
I think it's the fin and the gun and...
Yeah.
He shoots this golden mask at Green Lantern, and it lands on his face, and it magnetically seals itself to Green Lantern. And he has to follow all of the commands of...
the Aerialist.
The Aerialist. And so the Aerialist brings him back to, his apartment. Or his seaside house.
His well-furnished lair.
Yeah. And he kind of
really,
lays it all
he's
out.
got a nice pad, actually.
he lays it
It's like-
all out for Green Lantern.
This is like prime real estate. It's like cliffside, like
Yeah. Maybe he got the insurance money from
from the circus. It wasn't like his circus. He was the clown.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions about this. So
But he lays it out for Green Lantern. He says, "This is why I'm doing it. This isn't vengeance; it's justice. And you're gonna carry it out, so everyone will know it's justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just some guy killing people."
Right.
He explains that he was in love with Elka, but she would never love someone who wasn't a better trapeze artist as her.
So he became the Aerialist,
Right.
and he had this whole dream of being with her,
But she died before any of that would come to fruition.
yeah, well, it probably wouldn't have if she'd lived.
Right. And so Green Lantern's like, "No, you can't do it. It was an accident. It's not the Ferris's fault." He's like, "No, it was their fault, and you're gonna kill him for me." And so we keep getting these weird shots of Hal kind of like standing weird, and like we see a shot of his like feet, and then we find out that he's been slowly rubbing his feet
To pick up static electricity.
Yeah.
To remove the mask.
To remove the mask, because it canceled out the magnetic.
Because when he was
connection to his
firing,
brain.
when he was flying the plane, he said something about saying almost fire, and he used that similar principle to detach the mask from his face.
Yeah.
So
he realizes, oh no, the only way I'm going to be able to defeat him is if I remove my mask.
right, because he didn't realize it wasn't his own mask.
Right.
It was a thing that the Aerialist put on him.
Yeah.
But it's like, weren't you looking at the Aerialist when he fired it at you? I mean, if he got you right in the face.
You're asking way too many questions, Nick.
Am I? Okay.
No, these are questions that need to be asked, and I'm glad you are asking.
Okay.
But the mask falls off, and Hal's like, "All right, that's it," and they start like brawling.
Yeah,
and
just
Hal's
bare
like,
knuckle fighting, not even using the ring.
Yeah.
Like the Aerialist throws a coffee table at him, an end table. It tries to smash him with a vase. Like,
Yes. Hal exclaims that he's not going to use the power ring because he cares about the Ferris family, and he's going to dole out some justice with his fists.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess he didn't actually say he was going to dole out some justice.
Well, here's the thing. Like, he could just capture him with green energy.
Right. Yeah.
But he's going to take his time and enjoy beating him up.
And
That's really what's happening here.
Yeah. Instead of using his power ring, to stop him, he punches his head through a wall.
Yeah, so instead of that, we just have a fight that goes on for 2 pages.
Yeah. He brings
3, really.
the Aerialist in to the police station. He says, "Look, don't charge him with a crime.
He's crazy.
He needs psychological help. His mind is warped."
Yeah, but that's like every supervillain. Why does he get off?
Yeah, but then
They're all warped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He quotes a criminal case, a trial from England.
Yeah.
How come the cops are like, this is America,
right?
right?
Yeah, but it's the
McNaughton's case.
Yeah, basically he can't be tried if he's not
Oh.
if he doesn't understand what he was doing wrong.
Yeah, he can't distinguish between right and wrong, and because he's warped, I'm like, really flimsy.
Yeah,
This is not going to hold up in American law
No.
either, because that's not a case that happened here.
No. Well, no.
Because if it set a legal precedence here, then what sets a precedence? No, because this is how it's like Supreme Court goes. A ruling in a Supreme Court say, no, that's not how that goes or whatever. It's this. Then that essentially becomes law.
Well, there's if they
You can't use a legal example of a case that happened in another country.
That's true.
That doesn't fall under the American Constitution.
Right, but this kind of case is carried over to the United States, where we've said if someone is not mentally competent enough to distinguish right from wrong, actual right from wrong, they can't be held.
But why is he citing McNaughton's law
Maybe it's just like that law is what our law is based off of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
But do you see why I ask these questions?
yes,
They're
yeah.
valid, I think.
They are valid questions.
Okay.
But he flies back to Carol's house, and he lands and he says, "Hey, Carol, it's good to see you. But without Hal Jordan, I would have never beat the Aerialist, because he informed me about static electricity."
Right.
And she's like, "What?"
And so she
Okay.
proceeds to go see Hal, and they start making out.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good ending there.
Not the issue, though.
No, we have another backup. Now things go crazy.
Yes.
Okay, the story is called The Eagle Crusader of Earth. And it was written by Gardner Fox, of course. Yeah. And it's such a Gardner Fox goofball thing. Yeah. I wonder... I have another thought on there. But anyway, penciled by Gil Kane and inked by Sid Green. But I was just daydreaming for a sec, like, what if Gardner Fox... Because I think Gardner Fox wrote a lot of stories under Julie Schwartz as an editor.
Okay.
But I'm like, the goofy stuff that he does would work really well in Superman plots under a Mort Weisinger,
right?
Editorial show. Yeah. But different editors employed different writers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Pretty sure Julie would have used. No, Jack. Something was the editor who used Robert Conagher a lot. Why can't I remember that guy? Jack Schiff was the other editor of those were like the three main editors at DC. Jack Schiff, I think he did like the war books and stuff.
Okay.
So if I'm remembering correctly, if I'm wrong, I want a nasty email from listeners. So.
So this issue starts.
The story. We're already deep in this issue, baby.
Yeah. The story starts with Hal attacking a herd of sheep, and a rancher shooting off a round to get Hal Jordan out of there because he thinks it's an eagle.
Right.
And it turns out it's a Green Lantern. And then we see as Green Lantern flaps his arms away, because that's the way he's flying. He's flapping his arms like a bird. We see an eagle at the top of the panel. And then in the next panel, we have the eagle with thought bubbles. And apparently, Green Lantern has switched minds with an eagle.
Right.
And so we get word from... We get kind of a flashback to Green Lantern meeting with the governor, I think. And the governor's saying, look, these strange occurrences are happening. We think it's either voodoo or they're being hexed. And
yeah, that's good. Way to go.
And for an hour at a time, all these people black out.
And when they come to, they seem to think that they switched minds, or they experienced like the experience of an animal.
Right. Yeah.
So they switch minds with them.
Yeah. And so as Hal Jordan's flying over to where all this happens, he flies by an eagle, and their minds are traded. And so he has to follow the eagle, or follow himself as an eagle.
Yeah, his mind is in the eagle's body.
Right.
The eagle is in his body. Yeah. Now the eagle is, you're getting to see Green Lantern flying around by flapping his wings.
Yeah.
Or his arms.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
It is great. And so Hal Jordan flies over, and or not Hal Jordan, excuse me, the eagle-minded Green Lantern flies over these crooks and like kind of flaps down at them, and the crooks start firing off some shots, and he flies away.
Yeah.
But the eagle kind of stays. Green Lantern, the Hal Jordan's mind in the Green Lantern.
Okay. Hal as an eagle.
Hal as an eagle.
Not eagle as Hal.
Right.
Okay.
Hal as an eagle stays and uses his newly found eagle eyes to spy on what's going on with these crooks.
Right.
And it turns out they're a bunch of commies stealing...
They are commies.
Yeah.
Commie bastards.
They're stealing this thing called the Project Self-Thinker,
Yeah, it could be a super, like it's a supercomputer thing.
Yeah. Basically, a computer can start acting an AI,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
Oh,
But they don't
that's
call
what
it
that
that.
stands for. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And so the Hal as an eagle lands and just starts listening to everything they're saying.
Right.
And he gets kind of like, he realizes if I had my power ring, I'd be able to deal with this right now, but I can't. And so he swoops in, and with his new talons, attacks, like, swoops in and, like, at the face of one of the Rusties, and,
Steel takes a revolver from one of them and then fires it with the bird claws, the talons.
it's one of the best things I've ever read, but at the same, what the hell?
Yeah, this is Gardner Fox to a T.
He, with his talons, is firing this revolver.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to shoot them. He's just trying to get them to the point where they'll, like, duck out of the way.
He's even kind of holding it sideways, like gangster rap. You know, like...
Yeah.
I realize, of course, this is, old, but...
Right.
But yeah.
But,
it's crazy.
He's able to distract them long enough to swoop in.
I love the look on this bald commie's face as he's diving over the car to avoid being shot by an eagle.
It kind of looks like he's diving into a pool too.
Yeah, but the face is awesome.
Oh yeah, totally. So while they're distracted, he's able to swoop in and grab the briefcase with the microfilm of Project Self-Thinker.
Right. So the hour has passed, and Hal comes to as himself in the eagle's eyrie.
Right.
He's back in his own body.
Yeah.
And then he flies after the commies and beats them up. Oh, but first they have a pillow fight.
Yeah, they have a pillow fight.
He hits them with pillows.
Yeah. He with feathers that he's...
He could have just locked up the engine in the car.
Right, yeah. He turns the bullets that they were firing at him into feathers, collects the feathers in a pillowcase, and then hits them in the head with the pillows. And then uses a giant magnet to pull the tires off the car, and then creates a giant tow truck to tow the car to the precinct or wherever they took.
This is like such Rube Goldberg invention type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could just do this. I mean, I realize it looks cool and silly, but like, I would just like put a steel spike, or a big green spike through the hood of the car. Scared the crap out of them. They would have just put their hands up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he brings back the micro tape back to the scientists, and they kind of explain what was going on. And it's the weirdest one of the weirdest explanations yet. Like, because the people were on the ground that got traded with, like, the other animals,
yeah,
a lot of the radiation energy was sucked into the ground, and so they couldn't remember it. But because the eagle and Hal were in the air, they were able to absorb more and remember more of their harrowing journey. But the last panel is Green Lantern sitting down with the rancher, having a cup of coffee, explaining everything that happened and apologizing for attacking his sheep.
Yeah. Because that's what we were like, man, that's what I needed closure about. Oh, that rancher, he seemed so confused by what happened. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This was fun.
Yes.